Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Thor issue 16. And this was a really great issue because it's pretty much the capstone. I mean, granted, we are going to get like King Thor later on, but this is the capstone pretty much for this Thor run, for at least the present Thor. And it really does a phenomenal job of kind of wrapping up everything that we have been through on this journey. So we start off and we see that Thor is in Mississippi and he is helping a pastor rebuild his church that was destroyed by the weather, and that he is bringing with him a wood from Asgard that should help it stand for like 1,000 years, saying that he likes what this pastor's church has been doing and how it's just been helping people. And the pastor's like, yeah, but don't you have some other more important place to be? As he says no, as he's lining up a nail and is using Mjolnir to hammer it in. So then we go in and we see all of the celebration going on in Asgard. We see Odin kind of just being like pissed off that Thor's not there, but that he's also talking with old Thor and young Thor. He's like, no, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and celebrating this day all the way that Thor would. He's like, yeah, but young Thor's like, I don't think anybody here is more drunk than I am, because Odin thinks that he's gone off to be drunk, but he's being the All Father and helping people. And we switch over, we see Heimdall and Jane kind of figuring out what's going on. Jane's like, damn, you can hear Odin from here, and you see the Bifrost and the tree and everything, and how everything's kind of changing, because Heimdall's like, well, you're Valkyrie, the living aren't your concern, but she's like, hey, everything's kind of changing, so we'll kind of have to see about that. We then get to another big kind of thing as Volstag's talking about the Watchtower tree, as it has grown from a piece of Yggdrasil that had grown from the sun, and is welcoming the new member into the World Congress, T'Challa, as the representative for Midgard. T'Challa better watch out. He is like, I mean, that's a good person to get as a representative, but he's like Avengers chairman, King of Wakanda. Now he's a representative on the World Congress for all of Asgard and the 10 realms. It's like, watch out, T'Challa. Make sure you take breaks for yourself, man. But it's kind of cool seeing Volstagg talk about all this stuff, and like the starlight and the trees and the Bifrost and all that. It's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. We switch over and we see that evidently Thor made the decision to allow the trolls into Asgard as well. As you see them helping, we see Beta Ray Bill and Frog Thor talking about it with Thori and all that. I'm like, yay, Beta Ray Bill. We didn't see a lot of him throughout, but it was really nice to see him as they're talking about King Thor's decision to allow the trolls in and everything. Thor's kind of confused, like, no, you can't murder them or anything. He's like, this makes Thori angry. Yet in her thought bubble, she's like, wow, is this peace? Oh, thank the dog gods. It's like really kind of cool. I'm like, yes, Thori might be a murder dog, but she understands it. She's like, oh, thank goodness. We then get to the root dungeons, and we see like most of the kind of big players of Ulik, the Enchantress, and Cinder wrapped up in there, and pretty much doing their kind of villain thing of, we'll get out of here, as we see the ministers three of justice of Hogun, Fandral, and Hildegard. And it's like, ooh, that's pretty cool, and very good choices for the ministers of justice as they're walking through. Pretty much, yeah, you're gonna have to work a little harder than that. We see Roz and Sif then discussing what's going on with Dario Auger, and pissed off that he's able to play off his part in the War of the Realms as fake news and everything, and that they're gonna just pissed off at that. But Sif's like, hey, war never ends tidy. You just pretty much have to make sure that you do right by the fallen and continue the fight. And I'm like, damn straight. Good Sif. We switch over and we see a pretty cool scene going on. We've got Svartalheim, and we've evidently got Scumtongue the Tongueless has hostages, but he hasn't made any demands or anything. We see the Balder is pretty much leading the League of Realms, as they're going to take him out and save the hostages. I'm like, yes, it's really cool to see all these different elements being touched upon, seeing the League of Realms, seeing Balder being in there and leading them. It's like, yeah, all right. We get over to Asgard and Odin being mad and like punching a wall, and Lady Freya and Lady Gaia talking about how he's kind of misremembering things, living in his memories, talking to Kull, and I'm like, okay, I don't think that's actually insanity or anything, or like feeble-mindedness. Kull might still have some kind of presence or whatnot. We'll have to see how that kind of works out. But they're kind of talking about that and talking about Luasa, Freya's daughter, who's evidently part like fire demon. It's like, okay, that's interesting. And how they've been taking care of the daughter and all that. And right at the end, we then switch to the two Thors, and we see that Loki has come. They're like, you're not going to ruin this thing. He's like, no, I'm just one king going to talk to another king. We both got the thrones that we deserve, and I just came here to bring a gift to the new All-Father. And it is a resurrected Tooth Gnasher. It's like, yay, that's pretty damn awesome. I'm like, nice, Loki, very good. It's really kind of strange that he's being kind of more helpful. He's like, yeah, he's the king of the Frost Giants in Jotunheim, but we'll have to see how this pans out. Loki usually has to do some kind of mischief, but I think he's trying to be as good as he possibly can be. We switch over and we get back to, let's see. Oh, we had also checked back in with Thor in Australia as he was helping a girl who needed a heart transplant by pretty much connecting it to Mjolnir and tossing it off. We then get back to Thor again here, and we see this in Svartalheim, these dark elf children are praying for help because they don't have any food. They were only taught how to make weapons and instruments of war, and they're praying to like Kull and all that to have some food. And we see that All-Father Thor brings the food from the banquet. It's like, nope, here you go. This is from Asgard and everything. I'm like, yay, Thor! Volstagg, of course, notices this and is like, this is a thing for war. Somebody's taking the food. And Odin is kind of lamenting the fact that his son's not here and that he can't give this good speech where he's like going to list off all the accomplishments that he's done, all the hardships that he's gone through and proven himself, and how he wanted to thank him and also try and show that he should be remembered as like that Odin should be remembered for pretty much having Thor and having Thor surpass him. And also to thank Thor for what he did in helping him get back his love. And Frey's like, no, everything's good except for that last part. You got me back. And, well, she didn't say you got me back, but kiss him. And they go off together. And he's like, but what about everything else? It's like, Asgard will be fine without you. And as we then see Jane giving a toast for Thor, it's like, hey, he's doing other stuff, but he'll be able to hear us. And it's just really kind of cool that she's just being like, hey, Thor's doing his thing, long may thunder, pretty much. And everybody else joins in with it. It's just a really nice moment. We then see that the two Thors are ready to go back and partying and just kind of like talking with each other. Old Thor being like, hey, listen, make sure you really live your life, man. Don't be so much in a hurry to use Mjolnir and live through the good parts and don't try and shrink away all the bad because you might learn a thing or two from them. And he's like, hey, granddaughters and everything, alright, don't tell me I get married someday. He's like, hey, they mutually part ways and just have a nice little thing. And we see young Thor looking at Mjolnir, almost trying to pick it up, and going, screw it, Heimdall, open the Bifrost, I got stuff to do. And it's like, yeah. And then we see old Thor in his time reminiscing on everything, like what the crown meant, how he had to outlive everything, and what he has to say to that kind of. And then he is attacked by Loki, and with the whole Necro sword and all that, and setting it up for the whole King Thor. So this ended pretty well, leading us into King Thor and just wrapping up and setting up for the next phase of All-Father Thor. And I hope that that is used and continued forward, because it would be really know that we've kind of seen Thor being king before, but I would just be interested to see how somebody else does this, what a new creative team does, and I can't wait till we get King Thor rolling. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.